Okay, now we are going to continue with section 1.2 and 1.3. Now, some of this is familiar information to you. Some of it may be a little new, but there are some things that I need to talk to you about. First off, we're going to be talking about an angle, okay? Now, they call it the union of two rays. B to C is a ray, and B to A is a ray. The common endpoint is B. Now, those are things you probably already know. Well, this is the part that you're going to need to recognize. This is called the initial side. The initial side is the BC side. It is the horizontal that you have in this picture. We also have something called the terminal side. And that is the pink side. This is known as the terminal side. Now, Mom is going to refer to these two words, initial side, terminal side. Okay. So therefore, be aware that they're going to talk about them. Okay. Initial, terminal. Now, there is something you're also going to see. Now, this is what we call a rotational symbol. It starts on the initial side and it goes to the terminal side. This symbol is known as the rotational symbol. Now, in geometry, the rotational symbol is always going to go clockwise most of the time. If the initial side, which has this arrow pointing to the right, you are reading it from the initial to the terminal side. It is also possible that this initial side can go with its arrow to the left, which we're going to see in a minute. The key is you've got to find the initial side. It is the horizontal line that you are going to be working with. So, you also need to know that this picture can be named with 3 letters. Again, the naming convention is going to be angle A, B, C, or it can be named C, B, A. But notice the letter in the middle. You see this B? B is the common endpoint where the 2 rays meet. B must be in the middle. Now you're going to also see a number. That's right in here. This angle can also be named as angle 1. Okay. Now, Joseph, this is just for you because I was going to tell you this last week, but I forgot. If they put a cursive M in front of this angle symbol. That cursive M means the measure of angle ABC. The cursive M means measure. And by the way, measure with an angle is in degrees. So you're going to have to be careful in MOM. You're now going to come up with units that are going to be after the box you enter. That is going to be units, can be angles, meters, inches, all of them come into play. But you are going to be having to determine units. Now, with that said, again, we, as I just told you, can name the angle angle 1, but also it can be named by the vertex, angle B. They're not giving you A and C, but they're giving you the vertex. Now, again, this is where you're going to have to remember, and I always put this at the beginning several times because I've already told you, but I need to make sure you understand. The equal sign is telling us that the angles are equal so we can do some algebra. This congruence symbol is talking about the drawing of two angles. So you've got to recognize a geometry symbol is a drawing symbol. And equal sign is kind of telling you, I got to do a little algebra here. Okay. Now, with that said, here's my first problem. Now, right away, interpreting what this is saying. This is saying the drawing of angle 1 and angle 2 are drawn the same. That's what that symbol is telling you. They're drawn the same. Now, that's what this line is telling you. Okay? That's what this line is telling you. It is saying my drawing right here. Now, sometimes I'm going to tell you that they may not look the same, but if that statement is there, it's telling you that the angles are drawn the same. Now, this is where the fun part comes in, right here. Now, Joseph, you asked, I know, almost at the beginning of class, and I was going to hope to get to this sooner, but I didn't. But this is saying that the measure of angle 1 is 2x plus 15. The measure of angle 2 is 3x minus 2. Now, we're looking for x. Now, this is saying the measure of angle 1. Okay, where's my lovely picture here? Okay. The measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 2. I can go from this congruence symbol to this equal symbol. This is called the definition of congruency. I have a picture. I'm told the pictures are the same. I need to find a variable that is relating to the angles, which means my measures are equal. I can change the congruence sign to equal by what we call the definition of congruency. Now, here comes the algebra, just what you always wanted. 2x plus 15 is equal to 3x minus 2. Now, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. This will give me 15 is equal to x minus 2. And then I'm adding 2 to both sides. Now, x is equal to 17. Now, I want to explain something to you about mom. If you look at m and you look at that measure, okay, do any of these angles just have it equal to x? Okay, the answer is no. This is a good answer, but there's a little catch. If one of these angles, such as angle 1, was just equal to x, and you get a negative number, your answer is does not exist, DNE. Now, some of you are going to get that exact experience later on, but you got to also be careful. X is talking about the variable in this algebra function. It is not the sole value of one of the angles given, because I can't have a negative angle in geometry. Now, trig is something different, calculus is something different, and it also means something totally different in those other math classes. But in geometry, if an angle is just x and it's negative, it doesn't exist in geometry. But because measure 1 and measure 2 don't have x by itself, and I'm only seeking the x value, I can have a positive and a negative number. Because I can put it into one of these expressions and I'll still come up with a positive number. That's what I need in geometry. Now, that may have gone right over your head, but until we do several others, it's not going to really make sense. Okay. Now, with this, these are things that you should already know. Okay. We've talked about, or you should have known, what an acute angle is. You should know what a right angle is. And before I forget, if you have a box, this is the geometric symbol for 90 degrees. We have an obtuse angle. Now, okay. Now, Joanna, let me answer your question. She asked if we get negative 17, it wouldn't have been an acceptable answer. Well, in our problem, it would not be an acceptable answer, because if I put x in these two places, Joanna, let me go back a minute. If I put the value of x, let's say this was 17 here or here, and I got a negative number, doesn't work. But I can get a negative 17 for x, but it must make these positive numbers. Does that help you, Joanna? Okay. Now, this last one, I don't know why it drives people crazy, but it does. Okay. This is talking about an angle. And they're telling you it's exactly 180 degrees. But I need to make sure you understand picture-wise. This is a line, a straight line. This is not an angle until I put the rotational symbol on it. A straight line without that green rotational symbol is a line. The minute I put that green rotational symbol on that line, just as I've done, I've turned a line, which is one of our undefined terms, I've just turned it into an angle. A line without a rotational symbol is a line. The minute I put a rotational symbol, and I'm going to put the green, you have a straight angle. Difference in picture. Black line with a point happens to be a line. The minute I enter that green rotational symbol, I've changed a line into an angle, a straight angle. Now, is there any questions? Now, this PowerPoint is going to confirm what I said. Right here. Straight angle. Do you see that rotation symbol on it? That's an angle. Now, this is the one that you have never seen before. It's called a reflex angle. Now, I want you to look at where the green rotational symbol is. Do you see this green? That green creates a rotational symbol. A reflex angle has its rotational symbol going from the terminal side to the initial side. And that's the catch. It goes from the terminal side to the initial side. Now remember, the initial side is your horizontal side. Okay. And that's the part you're going to have to watch. Okay. A reflex angle has its rotational symbol, that green, and it looks like part of a circle. Because believe it or not, all angles come from circles. And you're going to find that out in 482. All angles come from circles. And a lot of other things come from circles. But it has a rotational symbol going from the terminal side to the initial side. Okay. That is something you have not seen before. So please be aware that this is one angle you want to keep in your vocabulary. The reason is we're going to see several problems talk about reflex angles going forward. Here, you're just identifying them. Now, are there any questions about the straight angle and the reflex angle? Okay. Now, some other words to know, and you probably are very familiar with these from 481, is we're going to talk about the intersection. The intersection of two lines is a point. And that was your solution that you got when you did systems of equations. Now, this is where we're going to introduce you to what we call congruent angles. In this picture, two angles intersect. And when they put this little box here, it doesn't matter whether it's at angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, or angle 4. These two lines are said to be perpendicular. And perpendicular is that capital T upside down. This is saying R is perpendicular to T. And that means perpendicular means 90-degree angles. Okay. Now, this is where the nice part is you don't have to go buy a protractor. Okay. But I do want to let you know that protractors are made in the United States, but they are also made in another part of the world, Canada and Britain, and some of the Asian countries and the countries in the Middle East make their own protractors. But the key is the mathematical concept is always the same, but it's how they're made. Now, in this case, a protractor is going to provide a uniquely positive number. Okay. Now, S to T is my initial side. That's the side I'm starting from. Now, remember I told you about that lovely rotation symbol? Well, that's another reason why the protractor was created. It is going to find the 0 mark. That means that right here, whether you can see it or not, is 0. The initial side always is the horizontal line going to 0. And then you follow clockwise or counterclockwise to the terminal side. And as you can see, angle RST is 50 degrees. Okay. And again, I want to show you in Mom, they can give you this. They give you a box, and then they give you a little circle out here. This is 50, but you've got to click on this little thing to choose degrees. So be aware if there's a little circle on the right-hand side of the box that you've just put your answer in, you don't put the degree in the box, you choose it with the little circle. Okay. Now, this is the current protractor. Now, I want to show you something. Okay, this protractor is what you're going to be seeing on Mom. And it's asking you to find the measure of the angle shown. Okay, you begin. Now, this protractor should have had this initial side equaling to 0. Well, sometimes in India or in Pakistan or over in the Middle East or in Asia, they put the initial side at this little hole right here. But you still have to look for the 0. Now you're going to notice I have 2 sets of numbers. One on the outer part of the circle, and there's a set of inner numbers. This is called concentric circles. But you have to decide which ones you are reading. The initial side is your clue. We have our 0 on the outer sets of numbers. So that means we're reading all the way over to here, but we're reading the outer circled numbers. The initial side is technically this side. This side is your terminal side. And you read from the initial side, finding where 0 is, which is the outside, and then going on the outer part of the circled numbers. So this would be 110 degrees. Now, are there any questions?
It's kind of funny. I haven't really had to use a hands-on protractor since, gosh, I think elementary school. So this is kind of a throwback for me.
It happens, Joseph. Okay. Christopher, I'm not sure. I don't think I've skipped a slide, but it's also possible that when you downloaded some of the PowerPoints, my PowerPoints sometimes get out of order. I don't know why. It just happens. Now, in this case, Joanna, it is 100. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Without you, John, I'm in trouble. I can't read here. Okay. This should be 100 degrees. Okay. Because it's this number. Sorry, I kind of thought I had a 1 in the middle, and that was part of my terminal side. But thank you, Joanna. Thank you, John, for helping me out. Okay. And Christopher, you should have all the slides, but occasionally my PowerPoints in the content agenda folder I don't know why, but they sometimes get shuffled. I don't know why, but they should all be there. Okay. Now, this is where, if no one has any questions, okay. Looking at this protractor, what is the angle measure? So in the chat room, what is it? Yes, Joseph, that's what you're going to have to be careful with.
I got to make sure I squint my eyes on this one.
Well, that is a reason why I give this. Okay. Okay, Christopher, wait and see if it's not on another slide to come in my PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. Now, some of you gave me the answer of 30. Now, believe it or not, I understand why you did 30. I do want to let you know that when you do mom, there is a little circle up here in the corner that has a plus. There is a little circle that has a minus. This little circle with the plus makes it bigger. And for some of you, if you need to have it bigger, click that positive button so that you can see it. The answer here is 31 degrees. Now, I give you this one because I kind of want to laugh because mom is going to do the same thing. You're going to put 30 in there because you've got to fill in the blank. Well, the problem is mom's going to say it's wrong. And you're going to go, what? That's what happens. This is a little quirk of mom that I'm trying to get you to understand. It's just the program. And again, for those of you who had trouble, because somebody gave me 150. No. This is the initial side. The 0 is on the outside, and I'm going clockwise. For those of you who gave me 150, you didn't find the initial side. And that's the purpose of this. As you go on in mathematics, you're not going to handle a protractor, but you are going to have to understand initial and terminal side and this rotation symbol. Okay. Now, be very careful with mom. Some of you are going to say 30 and mom is going to mark it wrong every time. It's 31. And if you need, blow it up. Get it so that you can see what it is. And I will tell you that between the numbers, everything has 10 little digits. Okay. Or 10 little segments up there. So again, watch the protractor. If you can't see it, blow it up. Now, any question with why this is angle 31? Okay. Now, here comes a new word for you. Okay. This word is going to be bisector. Now, you're going to be given a large angle, okay? And this is my large angle, A, B, C. We are going to have a point in the middle, right here, D. And we're going to draw this pink line. This pink line is your bisector. But also, I need to let you know that symbol-wise, I can put 1 half moon there and 1 half moon there. This is telling me that angle ABD, and notice the words BD, the 2 letters, and angle DB, that means I'm going back down the pink line to the vertex B, C. These black symbols are geometric symbols to say the angle is cut in half. Okay? The bisector divides the angle in half. Okay? The bisector divides the large angle ABC in half. Okay. Okay. And remember, if it's divided in half, half means divide by 2. Okay. 2 equal pieces. Now, with that said, we're going to do a little math here. Okay. Now, read the words. Okay. To the right, ray BD, which is this ray, bisects angle ABC. Well, what does that mean? That means that angle ABD is equal to angle DBC. That's what that phrase says. But here's the other part. This is 2 angles. Okay. This can also be known as angle ABD plus angle DBC is equal to angle ABC. And this is, let's see here. Christopher, this is one thing that where you asked me about the slides being out of order. Well, I'm going to let you know that this is one of them that's out of order, because this slide should have come first. This should have been before, okay? This is telling you a little philosophy that I mentioned earlier. The sum of the parts is equal to the whole. ABD is this section. DBC is this section. And it equals the big angle. Okay. So we now have the sum of the parts is equal to the whole, but we also were told we have a bisector. Now, this is where the fun comes in. Okay. This is saying ABD. That is this section right here. And I'm going to kind of highlight it in red. Okay. They are telling me this is X. But by this statement, this area here is also X. This statement, created from the word bisect, is telling me that this angle is X and this angle is X, which now allows me to put X plus X, and see this nice little word, ABC is 48. 2X is equal to 48. Now, Johanna, this is where, notice my angle is X. I cannot get a negative number here. X is equal to 24 degrees, which means, okay, that's my X, but angle DBC is also 24 degrees. Okay. The sum of the parts are equal to the whole. It is going to come back. Okay. But they're just adding on to what you already know. Okay. Now, I don't want to go any further if you have questions. Does everybody see what I did and why? Okay. Now, this one. Okay. What is the measure of angle ABC in this picture? What am I going to get? In the chat room, what am I going to get? Yes, you guys are terrific. It is 69 degrees. Now, I always like to draw on my pictures. ABD is this part. That is 27 degrees. This part, DBC, this one happens to be 42 degrees. Okay. But ABC is the big one. The sum of the parts is equal to the whole. Okay. Now, any questions with this? Okay. Now we're going to get some fun here. Okay. Now, we're going to do this one together. ABD is this part. This is X. DBC, which is this part, is, now, by the way, 2x minus 3. Now, do you see that little degree symbol on the outside? It's not an exponent. In geometry, we're talking about an angle. 2x minus 3 represents the green angle in degrees in this picture. It's not an exponent. Some of you are going to tell me that DBC is equal to 1 degree. No, 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 no. It's not equal to 1. That little circle is not an exponent. So please don't give me an exponent here. Because now this is where the sum of the parts, ABD plus angle DBC, is going to equal ABC. Now, notice what I'm going to get here. This is X plus 2x minus 3. Angle ABC is equal to 3x minus 3. Now, notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to put parentheses with a little degree symbol. Do not tell me x is 1. This is the measure of your angle. It's an expression. It's an expression. ABC has no number. This side of the equation is no number. You are only combining terms. Now, is there any question with this one? Because we're going to start to get into some real good ones here. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, the final answer in mom, Christopher, would be this answer. Now, let me also show you. If they give me, and I'm going to go here, this is the box. This is that little circle on the outside right here, Christopher. You would write 3x minus 3 and then choose degree. Now, I will let you know that occasionally mom wants these parentheses because you've got to keep 3x minus 3 together. Now, does that answer your question, Christopher? Okay. Now, Look at this problem. Do you see I only have x? Okay. This is where it's going to get interesting. This has an x. This has a y. Okay. This is something you've got to get used to. Okay. When you have two different variables, you need to create two different equations and solve the system. That is something you're going to have to get used to. Two variables means two equations. Well, the nice part about it is they're kind of nice. They already gave me one of the equations. That's right here. This is one of my equations, but I got to create the other one. Well, how do I create it? Well, we're going to use this line. If you remember, angle A, B, D plus angle DBC is equal to angle ABC. Well, ABD is X. DBC is Y. And notice, ABC is 67. This is one equation. My second equation is going down here. This is going to be X minus Y is equal to 17. This is my system. Two equations, two variables. Now, as you noticed, these y's are going to cancel out. So this will give me 2x is equal to 84. Now I get x is equal to 42. Now it's degrees because this x represents this angle, which is 42 degrees. I now have to find y. Well, it's your choice as to how you want to find y. Do I care which equation you use? No. If I take 42 plus y is equal to 67, and I subtract 42, I am going to get 25 degrees. And notice y has a degree symbol. Now, what do 42 and 25 add up to? Yay! It adds up to 67. This is my x. This is my y. Now, are there any questions with this? Okay. Now, this one, not so nice. Okay. This one, you got to watch the words. BD, which is this piece, bisects, well, right away, you have to know from that first part is that angle ABD equals angle DBC. This is understood from that first statement. That yellow piece is telling you that statement. ABD is equal to DBC. That's what this is telling you. That's what that line is telling you. Okay, now here comes the fun part. I have X and Y, two variables. That means I've got to create two equations. Two equations. Now, here's where the fun part comes in. Using this statement that we just wrote, that angle ABD was equal to angle DBC. Okay. That's where I'm going to start. I am going to have right here angle ABD equals angle DBC. Okay, that's where I want to start. This is my first equation. My first equation. Which means X plus Y equals, okay, DBC is 2X minus 2Y. Okay. Now, I want to solve for Y. Well, take that back. I'm going to solve for X. Okay. That means if I subtract X from 2X, I get X. And if I add 2Y to Y, I get 3Y. Notice how I solve for one variable using just this line. That's my first equation. Now, my second equation happens to be angle ABD plus angle DBC is equal to angle ABC. Now, why did I write that lovely equation? Take a look right here. What's the third line? ABC. This first equation had nothing to do with ABC. I had to create a second equation. Now, this is going to give you X plus Y plus 2X minus 2Y is equal to 72 degrees. Well, combine my x's, combine my y's, and I have my second equation. Now, I don't want to go any further if you've got a question, because I'm not finished yet. I haven't found x and y yet. Are there any questions? Okay, I'm going to my next slide. I now have to put these two equations together. Now, how you do it is up to you, but I'm going to give you a little hint. This is solved for x. See that x? I'm going to do the method of substitution, okay? Which means, in this case, now to solve the system, we have, and saw in our last slide, that we had 3x is equal to y, and we had 3x minus y was equal to 72. Well, as I mentioned, right, thank you. I always love it when you correct me. Okay. This is 3y is equal to x. Right here, 3y minus y is 72. 9y minus y is 72. 8y is equal to 72. Y is equal to 9. And then come right back here. 3 times 9 is equal to x. X is 27. Okay. So my x is 27. My y is 9. Now, I want to go back here a second. Okay. Okay. Now, I want to impress upon you this line right here says find x and y. This is asking you for the algebra values. The reason is, up here, neither angle is by a single variable. So the answer is not degree, it is the algebra values for x. Now, any questions? Okay. Now, this one. Story problem time. Oh, I can tell you're so excited. Okay. Here we go. We are going to introduce you to the word called complementary. See the ARY? And the complement. Okay. Complementary has its own definition. Complementary says two angles are complementary if their sum is 90 degrees, which means I have an equation with two variables. Complementary means I have two variables. Okay. But this is where you got to be careful. This complement is an expression. 90 minus a given angle. Let me repeat it. 90 minus a given angle, or 90 minus x. Now, 37 and 52 are complementary. They add to 90. Now, this is where you're going to have to understand this statement. The 37-degree angle is the complement of 53. The reason is, if I take 37 and put it behind this minus sign that 90 is in front of, 90 minus 37 gives me 57, the complement. Now, could I also switch it and say 90 minus 53? Yes. The complement of 53 is 37. Now, are there any questions with language? Because these are going to bring in story problems. Okay. Great, Joe. Well, then here we go. We're going to introduce you to a second word. Now, this word is supplementary, A-R-Y. Supplementary means the sum is 180, which means x plus y is 180 degrees. That's supplementary. But the minute I take off that ARY, I have an expression. It's 180 minus x. The supplement is the expression. And unfortunately, you got to memorize that. What does the word mean? Now, to give you a little idea, you were going to be given an angle. Now, it says the complement x of angle 1 means that you're going to take 90 and subtract 29. The complement is 61 degrees. The supplement of angle 1 means 180 minus 29. Now, I want to draw your attention. This answer and this answer are not the same. One you subtract from 90, one you subtract from 180. Now, it looks like I'm not going to get to the end of 1-3, which is where I was hoping to go. So I guess you're not going to have that much homework this weekend. Oh, I'm depressed. Okay. I'm going to finish up these couple of story problems that deal with supplementary and complementary. Now, you've got to read the problem. Okay. Now, this says an angle is 4 times. Now, when you see the word the behind a multiplication or an operation word, you have a parenthesis. Well, do we know what the angle is? No. So I'm going to say x is equal to an angle. So from sentence number 1, I have an angle is 4 times the size of its supplement. See that? Supplement. There's no ARY. And the nice part about this problem is I have only one variable. So this is easy. X is equal to 720 minus 4x. Add 4x to both sides. 720 divide by 5. This is my angle. But see that little word and? My supplement is going to be 180 minus 145 to give me 35 degrees. This is my supplement. I have to go back and put 145 in for x. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Now, this one, not very nice. This has a hidden system in it. And you're going to say, why? Right here. See the ARY? I'm not looking at the rest of the story problem. I see that ARY word. That ARY word means one of my equations is x plus y equals 90. That's what that word means. But now, the difference. Well, difference means I'm subtracting. The difference is 24. This is the hidden system in this story problem. You have a dual meaning. The difference of two complementary angles means I'm subtracting x and y, and it's going to give me a value of 24. But the very word complementary means x plus y is 90. And as you will find, these y's cancel out, giving me 2x is 114. Divide by 2, and I get 57 degrees. But I gotta get the y. The y is going to be 90 minus 57 to give me 33 degrees. Y is 33, X is 54. The word complementary means two angles, but it also means in and of itself two angles that add, which is why there's a hidden system in this problem. Now, this one. Okay. Reading the words. Angle Q and W are supplementary. What does that mean? Angle Q plus angle W is 180 degrees. But then notice what they do to me. Angle Q is 13x plus 14. Angle W is 3x plus 54, and these equal 180 degrees. 16x plus 68 is equal to 180. If I subtract 68, I'm going to get 16x is equal to 112. Okay, and when I divide by 16, I get x is equal to 7. Very good, Elizabeth, you got it. But I'm not finished yet. This is in Mom. What is Q? 13 times 7 plus 14. Okay. This is going to be my answer, which is 91 plus 14 is 105 degrees. I've got to come back and put X in here. I've got to do the same for W. 3 times 7 plus 54. 21 plus 54 is 75 degrees. And here's the beauty of this problem. This number and this number had better equal 180. Okay. Now I'm going to do one more and call it quits. Okay. Now, right here, that sentence, it means X plus Y equals 180. That is sentence number 1, the ARY word. Now, sentence 2. The measure of the larger angle. Well, I don't know whether it's X or Y. So what I do is I choose it to be X. The larger angle is, this word is always the equal sign. 100 more than 3 times the smaller. Well, this is a system. see this X? See this X? I'm going to replace right here. 3y plus 100 plus y is equal to 180. 4y. Now subtract 100, and I get y is equal to 20. But don't forget, x is equal to 3 times 20 plus 100. X is equal to 160 degrees. Now, this is where the fun part comes in. This is 160 degrees. This is 20 degrees. They better add to 180 degrees. Okay. Now, I didn't finish like I wanted to. So sad. I still have another, 12 slides left. So what I'm going to do is I am going to move the homework due date of 1213 to after Labor Day. So I'm going to move it to, instead of being Monday, which is July 2nd, I'm going to move it to July 9th or July 8th. That gives you more time to do this. But notice you could start 1213. You could start it and just leave it until we finish class on Wednesday. Okay, so on Wednesday, I will probably finish 1213, but you could start the homework. And I'm going to hopefully start 1.4 on next Wednesday. I'm reminding you, no class on Monday, Labor Day. With that said, I am going to say ciao, ciao. I will see you.
Did you mean to say September 8th, Professor?
Yes, I will move section 1213 back a week.
Okay.
I can always move it back. I cannot always move it forward like I would like to. Take care, Joanna. But I can't give you extensions. Okay, go to slide 23. I can do that. Okay, here you go, John. This is my slide. Okay. That is number 23. Everybody have a great weekend, and I will see you